Hey everyone, welcome back. Today, we're diving into something that might seem a little old school,
Mm-hmm.
but it's gaining traction with folks looking to build wealth that lasts generations.
Oh, interesting.
We're talking about gold IRAs.
Okay.
I know it sounds like something out of a pirate movie, right?
Yeah, a little bit.
But hear me out. We've got this article titled Multi-Generational Wealth Planning, Gold IRA as a Cornerstone Strategy.
Okay.
And it lays out some pretty compelling reasons why you might want to consider adding a little bit of that golden glow to your own financial plan.
It's fascinating to see how gold IRAs are becoming more and more popular,
Yeah.
especially with people who are really serious about, setting their families up for success down the line.
Okay, so let's get this straight.
Yeah.
Why are we even talking about gold?
Yeah.
I mean, the stock market, crypto, those are the usual suspects when it comes to investing.
Right.
What makes gold so special for building a legacy?
That's a great question.
And I think it gets to the heart of why gold has been valuable for literally thousands of years.
Okay.
It's tangible. You can hold it in your hand.
Yeah.
It's not just numbers on a screen or a promise from some company.
Yeah, I got it.
That realness,
Yeah.
that feeling of actually owning something substantial resonates with a lot of people.
I can see that.
Yeah.
Like if everything goes haywire, at least you've got this chunk of gold, right?
Exactly.
Right.
And historically, gold has held its value through all sorts of economic storms.
Yeah.
Think about it. Empires have risen and fallen.
Right.
Currencies have come and gone.
Sure.
But gold has always been there,
Yeah.
representing value.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense historically, but what about today?
Mhm.
Doesn't everything depend on the stock market now?
Well, the stock market is certainly important,
Yeah.
but it's also incredibly volatile.
Mm-hmm.
We've all seen how quickly things can change,
Oh, yeah.
and that kind of uncertainty can be nerve-wracking, especially when you're thinking about your long-term financial goals.
Right.
Yeah.
Like what happens if there's another recession or inflation keeps going crazy?
Mm-hmm.
How do you protect yourself?
That's where gold comes in,
Okay.
because it's not directly tied to the stock market. It acts as a hedge.
Okay.
When the market takes a dip,
Yeah.
gold often goes up, or at least holds its value better than other investments.
So it's like that backup generator that kicks in when the power goes out.
That's a great analogy.
Yeah.
Gold is that extra layer of security that can help you weather those financial storms and protect your savings,
Mm-hmm.
especially when you're thinking about passing that wealth down to your children and grandchildren.
Okay, I'm starting to see the appeal here, but how do gold IRAs actually work?
Yeah.
Are they like regular IRAs but with gold bars instead of stocks?
That's the basic idea,
Okay,
but there are some important distinctions.
got it.
Let's start with what everyone knows.
Okay.
Traditional IRAs, you put money in, it
Yeah.
potentially grows over time,
Right.
and you pay taxes when you withdraw that money in retirement.
Yeah.
With a traditional gold IRA, it's the same concept,
Okay.
but instead of stocks or bonds,
Yeah.
your money is used to buy physical gold, silver, platinum, or even palladium,
Wow.
which are held by a custodian for you.
Hold on, custodian. That sounds serious.
It is. This isn't about burying gold in your backyard.
Right.
A custodian is a specialized company that securely stores and insures your precious metals.
Okay.
They handle all the logistics and make sure everything is compliant with IRS regulations.
So it's like a super secure vault for your gold.
Exactly.
Got it.
And here's where it gets really interesting,
Yeah.
especially when we're talking about building a legacy.
Uh-huh.
With a traditional gold IRA, those contributions you make are tax deductible.
Oh, okay.
Plus, any gains your gold makes over time aren't taxed until you take a distribution,
Wow.
meaning you have more money potentially growing for your heirs.
Uh-huh.
It's called tax-deferred growth.
Wait, so it's like a double benefit. You get a tax break now, and your heirs potentially get a bigger nest egg later.
You got it.
Wow.
But there's another option, Roth Gold IRAs.
Okay, hit me with it.
All right.
What's the Roth angle?
With a Roth Gold IRA,
Yeah.
you pay taxes on your contributions up front,
Mm-hmm.
but then any growth and those eventual distributions are completely tax-free.
Oh, wow.
This is huge EE for multi-generational wealth planning
Yeah.
because your heirs wouldn't have to pay taxes on any gains the gold made during your lifetime.
Right.
Imagine handing down a chunk of wealth that's totally free from that tax burden.
Wow. So with Roth, it's like prepaying those taxes for your loved ones, giving them a clean slate.
That's a great way to think about it.
Yeah.
Both Roth and traditional have their pros and cons.
Mm-hmm.
And the best choice depends on your individual financial situation, goals,
Yeah.
and whether you want to minimize your tax burdens today or set up your heirs for the best possible tax situation down the road.
Okay, so this is making me think about my own family and what I want to leave behind for them.
Yeah.
But how do these gold IRAs actually fit into the bigger picture of an estate plan?
Right.
I mean, beyond just choosing between Roth and traditional, what else is there to consider?
That's where the real strategic planning comes in.
Okay.
And that's what we'll explore in the next part of this deep dive.
All right.
We'll unpack the ins and outs of beneficiary designations,
Yeah.
how gold IRAs can help you avoid probate,
Mm-hmm.
and even touch on the role of trusts in managing wealth across generations.
Ooh, trusts. Now things are getting fancy.
Yeah.
All right, everyone, stick around. We'll be right back with more on gold IRAs and how they can help you build a legacy that truly stands the test of time. Welcome back, everyone. So before the break, we were getting into gold IRAs.
Right, yeah.
These accounts that let you hold like actual physical precious metals as part of your retirement savings.
That's right. And we were just about to get into how these gold IRAs can be powerful tools for estate planning, helping you pass on wealth to your loved ones in a smooth and efficient way.
Okay, so let's talk about that.
Yeah, sure.
What makes gold IRAs different from other investments when it comes to passing wealth down to your heirs?
Well, with a gold IRA, you have the ability to name specific beneficiaries.
Uh-huh.
This means that when you pass away,
Yeah.
the assets in your gold IRA bypass that often lengthy and expensive legal process known as probate.
Probate.
Yeah.
I've heard that word thrown around,
Yeah.
but I'm not exactly sure what it means.
Probate is basically the court-supervised process of distributing a deceased person's assets.
Okay.
It can involve a lot of paperwork, legal fees,
Yeah.
and time delays, which can be a real burden for your loved ones during an already difficult time.
So by naming beneficiaries on your gold IRA,
Mm-hmm.
you're essentially creating a shortcut for your heirs to inherit those assets directly
Yeah.
without going through that whole probate mess.
Precisely. It's a streamlined way to ensure that your wealth is transferred to your loved ones quickly and efficiently.
Okay, that makes sense. But
Yeah.
what about trusts?
Right.
I know those are often used in estate planning,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm not exactly sure how they work or how they relate to gold IRAs.
Trusts can be a great way to add another layer of control and protection to your estate plan.
Okay.
They can be especially beneficial for individuals with complex financial situations
Yeah.
or specific wishes for how their assets should be managed and distributed.
Can you give us like a quick rundown of the different types of trusts
Yeah,
and how they might be used with a gold IRA?
of course.
Yeah.
One common type is a revocable living trust.
Okay.
This allows you to maintain control over your assets during your lifetime,
Uh-huh.
but upon your passing, those assets are distributed according to the terms you've outlined in the trust document.
So it's like having a set of instructions for your assets after you're gone.
Exactly.
Got it.
Another type is an irrevocable trust,
Okay.
which offers greater tax benefits and asset protection,
Uh-huh.
but it comes with less flexibility,
Yeah.
as you generally can't make changes to the trust once it's established.
So it's like a more permanent and legally binding arrangement.
That's
Like,
right.
okay.
When it comes to gold IRAs,
Yeah.
trusts can be used to hold the IRA itself,
Uh-huh.
providing additional control over how the assets are managed and distributed to your beneficiaries.
Okay, that's helpful to know.
Yeah.
But before we get too deep into trusts,
Right.
let's circle back to the basics for a moment.
Sure.
I know we talked about choosing between traditional and Roth gold IRAs,
Mm-hmm.
but how do you actually choose which precious metals to hold within the account?
That's an important question.
Yeah.
And it really depends on your investment strategy and risk tolerance.
Mm-hmm.
The most common choice is gold,
Uh-huh.
as it's seen as a safe haven asset.
Right.
That tends to hold its value well during times of economic uncertainty.
So gold is like that classic reliable choice.
Mm-hmm.
But what about the other precious metals like silver, platinum, and palladium?
Sure.
What role do they play?
Silver is often seen as a more affordable alternative to gold,
Okay.
and it tends to be more volatile,
Uh-huh.
meaning its price can fluctuate more dramatically.
Right. Yeah.
Platinum and palladium are industrial metals
Yeah.
that are used in various applications, including catalytic converters for cars and electronics.
So they have both industrial and investment value.
Exactly.
Interesting.
When choosing which precious metals to include in your gold IRA,
Yeah.
it's important to consider your investment goals, your time horizon, and your comfort level with risk.
Got it. So it's about diversifying within the precious metals category,
Mm-hmm.
just like you would diversify your overall investment portfolio.
That's a great point. And it's also important to remember that the IRS has specific rules about which types of precious metals are eligible for inclusion in a gold IRA.
Okay.
Not all gold coins or bars qualify, so it's crucial to work with a reputable custodian who can guide you through the selection process.
Okay. So you need a custodian who knows their stuff and can make sure you're playing by the rules.
Exactly.
Now, I'm curious about the rollover option.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard people talk about rolling over funds from an existing IRA or 401k into a gold IRA.
Yeah.
How does that work?
It's a fairly straightforward process.
Okay.
Essentially, you're transferring funds from a traditional IRA or 401k into a gold IRA, allowing you to diversify your retirement savings and gain exposure to precious metals.
So it's like moving your money from one retirement account to another,
Yeah,
but with the added benefit of owning physical gold or other precious metals.
exactly. And the great thing about rollovers
Yeah,
is that they're generally tax-free as long as you follow the IRS guidelines.
that's a big plus. But are there any potential downsides or
Oh.
risks to consider when it comes to gold IRAs?
Yeah.
I mean, no investment is perfect, right?
Of course, as with any investment, there are risks involved.
Yeah.
Price of precious metals, even gold, can fluctuate. And while they're considered a hedge against inflation,
Right.
there's no guarantee that their value will always keep pace with rising prices.
Okay, so you're saying it's not a guaranteed win.
Exactly. It's
Yeah.
important to have realistic expectations
Yeah.
and understand that while precious metals can be a valuable part of a diversified portfolio,
Mm-hmm.
they're not a magic bullet.
That makes sense. What other risks should people be aware of?
Another consideration is that precious metals don't generate income like stocks or bonds.
Okay.
You're not going to receive dividends or interest payments from holding physical gold or silver.
So it's not about generating passive income.
Right.
It's more about preserving capital and potentially seeing appreciation in value over the long term.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
Gold IRAs are best suited for those with a long-term investment horizon,
Okay.
those who prioritize wealth preservation and generational wealth transfer over short-term gains.
And speaking of long term, what happens to a gold IRA when the original account holder passes away? Do the beneficiaries have to liquidate the gold, or can they keep it in their own gold IRA?
That's where those beneficiary designations we discussed earlier come into play.
Okay.
The assets in the gold IRA, including the physical precious metals, pass directly to the named beneficiaries, bypassing probate.
So it's a seamless transfer of wealth to the next generation.
Exactly.
But what can the beneficiaries do with the inherited gold IRA?
They have a few options.
Okay.
They can choose to liquidate the assets,
Uh-huh.
meaning they sell the precious metals and receive the cash proceeds.
And I assume they would have to pay taxes on those proceeds, right?
Yes, depending on the type of gold IRA.
Okay.
They may be subject to taxes on the distributions.
Yeah.
Another option is to roll over the inherited gold IRA into their own gold IRA.
So they can essentially continue the legacy of holding precious metals within a tax-advantaged retirement account.
Exactly. And this can be a powerful way to preserve wealth and build upon the foundation that you've established for your family.
Now, I know you're a big proponent of diversifying investments. So I'm curious, how does a gold IRA fit into a well-balanced portfolio?
Sure.
What percentage should someone allocate to precious metals?
That's a question best answered on an individual basis,
Okay.
taking into account factors like risk tolerance, time horizon, and overall financial goals.
Yeah.
However, many financial advisors recommend allocating between 5% and 15% of a portfolio to precious metals as a hedge against inflation and market volatility.
Okay, so it's not about going all in on gold,
Right.
but rather using it strategically to add that layer of protection and stability. It's about finding that sweet spot that aligns with your individual financial goals.
Precisely. And it's important to regularly review your portfolio and make adjustments as needed.
Right.
Life changes, economic conditions change, so your investment strategy should adapt accordingly.
All right, so we've talked a lot about the strategy and the mechanics of gold IRAs.
Yeah.
But before we wrap things up, I want to shift gears just slightly. We've been talking about gold as this, reliable safe haven asset. But I can't help but think about all those stories you hear about people burying gold in their backyards or hiding it under their mattresses.
Right.
Is there like a psychological appeal to owning physical gold? Something that goes beyond just the numbers?
You've hit on something really interesting.
Yeah.
There's definitely a psychological component to gold ownership.
Okay.
For centuries, Gold has been associated with wealth, security, and even power.
Mm-hmm.
Holding a gold coin or bar in your hand,
Yeah.
it connects you to that long history,
Right.
and it can invoke a sense of stability and permanence that you don't get with stocks or bonds.
It's like holding a piece of history, a
Yeah,
tangible link to generations past.
exactly. And in times of uncertainty, that sense of connection to something enduring can be very comforting.
Yeah.
It's like having a little piece of security that you can literally hold on to.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Like no matter what happens in the world,
Yep.
you've got this tangible asset that has intrinsic value.
Mm,
It's not dependent on some company's success or the whims of the stock market.
right. And for some people, that peace of mind is priceless.
So while the financial aspects of gold IRAs are clearly important,
Yeah.
it seems like there's also this emotional layer to consider,
Obviously.
this feeling of security and connection to something that has stood the test of time.
Absolutely. And I think that's part of what makes gold IRAs so appealing to people who are looking to build a legacy,
Yeah.
not just for themselves, but for their families and future generations.
It's like passing down more than just money.
Right.
It's passing down a sense of stability and enduring value.
Exactly. And in a world that often feels very uncertain and volatile,
Mm-hmm.
that can be a powerful and comforting legacy to leave behind.
Well said. I think that's a perfect note to end on.
Great.
So for those of you listening who are intrigued by the idea of adding a little bit of gold to your financial plan,
Mm-hmm.
remember to do your research,
Yeah.
talk to a qualified financial advisor,
Right.
and consider whether a gold IRA might be the right fit for you.
Absolutely.
We'll be back next time to wrap up our deep dive on gold IRAs. Welcome back to the deep dive. We've been exploring the world of gold IRAs,
Yeah.
unpacking their potential benefits and drawbacks,
Right.
and considering their place in a modern investment portfolio.
It's been a fascinating discussion.
Yeah, we've covered a lot of ground,
Mm.
from the tax advantages to the estate planning benefits,
Absolutely.
and even the psychological appeal of holding this ancient and tangible asset.
That's right. Gold has a certain allure.
It really does.
It's something that people have been drawn to for centuries.
We've talked about how gold can act as like a hedge against inflation,
Yeah.
a safe haven during times of economic uncertainty,
Mm-hmm.
and a way to diversify your retirement savings.
Absolutely. It's a valuable tool to have in your financial toolkit.
And we've also been, realistic about the potential risks, reminding everyone that no investment is a guaranteed win
Exactly.
and that gold prices can fluctuate.
Yeah, there's no such thing as a risk-free investment.
Right. That's why diversification is so important.
Absolutely. You never want to put all your eggs in one basket.
So as we wrap up this deep dive,
Mm-hmm.
I want to leave you with one final thought.
Okay.
Gold has been a store of value for thousands of years,
Yeah.
enduring through countless empires, wars, and financial crises.
You've seen it all.
It really has. And while the world around us is constantly changing, the appeal of gold seems to remain constant.
It's timeless in a way.
Perhaps it's the tangibility,
Yeah.
the feeling of holding something real and substantial in your hand.
That's a big part of it, that sense of ownership.
Yeah, or maybe it's the sense of history, the connection to something that has endured for millennia.
Right. It's like holding a piece of the past.
Whatever the reason,
Yeah.
gold continues to, capture our imagination
Yeah. It has a certain mystique.
and play a role in our financial lives.
Absolutely.
So as you consider your own investment strategy,
Mm-hmm.
ask yourself this: does gold still hold relevance in today's world?
It's a good question to ask.
And if so, what role might it play in your journey toward building a secure and lasting financial future?
It's all about finding the right balance for your individual needs and goals.
That's right. There's no one-size-fits-all approach to investing.
Absolutely. Everyone's situation is unique.
Well, thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the fascinating world of gold IRAs.
It's been a pleasure.
Until next time, keep seeking knowledge, keep asking questions.
That's the key to success.
And remember, the most valuable investments are often the ones that align with your values and your vision for the